Okay, so you're going to want to start with a polycube. I'll just give you a nice plane to begin with. You're going to want to adjust the subdivisions so you get a couple even subdivisions. So that's right here. So we want the width, not height, depth. And we'll go ahead and we'll change this to 4 now. So it'll give us a nice border. That's essentially what I'm trying to do. Then get rid of all the faces we don't need. So that's going to be all of these. We just want a plane, simplest to work with for now. Get rid of the center faces. And based off the image you had, the sides of it are a little bit thinner than what I have right here, so I'm just going to adjust that on both sides. And I'm just eyeballing it right here, but you could be a little more precise with measurements. Okay, and then we're going to get rid of these edges that aren't going to do anything for us now. Okay, and then you want to put in an object mode. And these are just faces that I'm not going to use. It'll be redundant because I'm going to duplicate the mesh, Command D, and just slide that down. I'm just going to do a little 3x3 section here. So since I deleted that bottom edge, I need to do it one more time, just so I can get those faces in there, and delete them. And that's going to give you same thickness all the way around these junctions in the middle. And the spacing's a little off. I did it a little sloppy, but when you do it, you make sure you're a little more precise. It's nothing too big. You'll select everything, object mode, and combine it. And then we want to go to the verts. I want to merge all these verts, make it one object. So it's at 44 right now. Merge verts, drop down to 32. So that tells me that all of these verts should have been merged. You can go through and check them all if you want, but it's good enough for me right now. Alright, and then to expand it, I'm going to delete those like I did earlier. Duplicate it, drag it over. Do it again. Then one more time just to finish it off. And then you would do this for whatever size you actually want this grid to be. And then combine everything again. Merge everything. And drop down. Not as much as it should have. If I look here, I can see not everything merged. That's a problem with my Maya. It doesn't always do the command correctly when I have more than 2 verts selected. So I just have to go back through and manually merge all these together. I use the target weld to do that. But the end goal is to have all the verts merged together and make it one seamless object. Ignore that message that popped up. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure everything was in line, which I don't think it got skewed, but if it did, you'll go back and make sure everything's perfectly square. And then you would extrude it. Boom. There you go. So this is where you would stop if you were doing a like a really low res game with these hard corners. You could also bevel it or drop holding edges in. That'll round it out a little bit better. If you like had a small number and you wanted to keep duplicating it around, you could do something like that. That will give you the thicker centers though, where the two parts come together. If you want to get rid of that, you could alter the mesh, or you can just show you. You can delete the faces on one part of it and just slide it into the where they meet up. That'll give you the look you want. You're wasting a couple faces on that inside geometry there that you won't actually be able to see, but I mean, it's not really a big of a deal. But, yep, there you go. And so when I saw the circular mesh that you wanted, made me think of putting a round surface into a square surface. So to do that, you want a pipe. That's not a pipe, that's a cylinder. let's get rid of that. You want a pipe. And it's easiest to do it with 8 sides. Just math works out easier. Technically, you can do it with any amount of sides. This just helps everything merge together better. Get rid of the faces you don't need. And then you can all these outside edges, you want them to line up. So we're just going to square off this surface right here. Do that all the way around. And this is where you kind of get to play with how thick the bars between the circles are going to be. So you would want to go off reference, but for this I'm not going off reference. I'm just doing this pretty quick. Just to give you an idea of kind of the workflow you might want to use. But, so looking at that, let's see. I think I still have your image up, so let's bring that up real quick. Okay, so the circles are actually staggered, so they're one in between the two. Okay, so to do that, you'll definitely need, we can do it with this. Alright, so you would duplicate that over however many you want long, put that, so it needs to line up in the center. You need to do it that a little bit like that, like that. Where that center circle line is going to line up with the edge of the one below it. Then take everything, merge it, or combine it, sorry. Take all the roots and then merge them. And like I said, my operation doesn't always get them all when it's supposed to, so you just have to go through, manually check these. That one's good. That one's good. These are not good. And didn't get it. Push it a little bit. Got it. Cool. Caught all those. Got that. Cool. Okay. So this is more or less the pattern that was shown in the image. I think it's a little thick, so I'm just gonna scoot that up. Get all these. Scoot that up. You could do this to adjust for all the spaces in between these. In fact, you would want to try to get it to look as good as possible. And then, so it says there are 7 here, which is right, because it's overlapping 2 right here and right here. And 1 is for the other ones. So we're going to merge. That should bring it down to 5. Cool. Because those got merged in. And straighten that out. Cool. And then that's essentially the basis for how this is going to look. You would adjust it for how many circles you actually want in your final mesh, but extrude it to get the thickness you need. And then, I talked about this previously, but you would want to bevel these in most cases, unless you're doing really low res stuff. Just run a bevel. One segment's cool, and see that's going to give you a nice, clean, rounded shape right there when you smooth it. And then for the actual corners themselves, for the square part, you'll force them to do a bevel, or you can do holding edges for these. Just depends on your workflow, where it's going in the end, that sort of thing. There we go, smooth. Oh, this one got a little fucked up. What happened here? Probably selecting too many edges. Yeah, right there, that corner shouldn't be selected. It's Z-back. Get rid of that. Alright. Run the bevel again. I'm still fucked up. Oh, it caught it on the inside too. Yeah, I selected that whole loop on accident. Alright. Let's go back. There we go. Unselect the whole loop. Just select that edge. That's the only one we care about right now. I'm only doing this on the top too. You would do it on the bottom, but just to show you from the top view kind of what it would look like. So you have this square grating with the circle holes in it. And yep, that's one method. Of course, there are always a bunch of different methods for doing this stuff.